Kayla Long and Eric Nyheis, and both are here. Ms. Long on Zoom, Mr. Nyheis is in person. So date and time set for hearing regarding paternity and support. Mr. Walburn's here from the prosecutor's office. Mr. Walburn, do you have an update in the matter?
Yeah, here's what I can tell the court. We'll need some assistance from the court. Defendant was served back on October 13, 2022. This is a paternity case. We still have to deal with the paternity portion. Since the case was open, we did do genetic testing by 99.79s after that. Defendant was found to be the father of the child, but we still have to deal with the order affiliation part of that. On the establishment of support, we imputed the plaintiff. We had the defendant's actual income. Defendant has 2 additional children. Plaintiff has 2 additional children. Put that in the child support formula. It comes out to $646, $28 ordinary medical for a total of $674. It's my understanding the parties, there is a birth expense too. Believe it or not, the total birth expense is $12 and the father's portion is $9. So that's why we're in front of the court. The parties have talked. I think they're trying to enter into their own agreement on child support. They've had some communication. However, there is state assistance here, so the court's aware. There's still food assistance. So that's all the information for the court. I don't know if anything has anything else to add.
All right, both raise your right hands then. Ma'am, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
All right, yeah, you both swear or affirm any testimony given this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? I do.
Yes,
All right, and ma'am, you named Mr. Nyheis as the father of Raylan Long?
that is correct.
All right, and there was a DNA test done, and it appears to be conclusive that Mr. Nyheis is in fact the child's biological father, is that correct?
Yes.
Correct.
All right, and sir, at this point then, do you dispute that paternity?
No.
All right, and are you both in agreement that an order of affiliation, a paternity order should enter?
Yes, that is fine.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Walber, then the order of affiliation will be authorized then and will be signed upon when it's submitted. Turning then to child support, the recommendation is for $674 per month. The birth expense is nominal, so I'll waive that. I guess, ma'am, are you in agreement with the recommendation for support of $674 a month?
Eric and I have made our kind of own agreement. Not sure if it will stand in court with Raylan getting state assistance. Eric and $50 through Cash App for support for Raylan, and that started back in, I think, the endish or beginning of December. I don't have an exact date right there, but they have been.
January 6th.
They have been paying that on a regular basis during this time before us going to court. So like I said, I don't know if that our agreement will stand in court with Raylan getting Medicaid and food assistance.
All right, and how much? What's that amount that you've agreed upon?
$50 weekly.
All right, and sir, that's an amount that you agree upon as well?
Yes.
So $217.50 a month, that would be the
Well, after the Cash App fees come out, I get $49.12 a week is what I'm been getting from them. They do help out with extras if needed, which, I would like that included in the order as well, if that is something possible. I'm not sure if he has the paperwork in front of him of what we have agreed on and what we have been doing. Raylan has not been going there for visits. She does not have any overnight. She has had one overnight with him since this has all started. We are slowly getting her accustomed to this new situation with her being 11 and him not being around. So this is kind of all on Raylan's time and how she sees fit.
all right, and so I don't necessarily have a problem considering the amount that the two of you have agreed upon. It's gonna have to be paid through the front of the court though. So
Right.
it goes through that appropriate channel. Will
the payments made prior through the Cash App be accepted though as payment made? So I'm not in the rears.
Yeah. So has that been paid up to current then?
Yes,
Okay, including April now, since we're at the beginning of this month or not yet? April?
that'll be Friday morning when I
Okay,
get paid.
all right. So, ma'am, you agree with the 50 a week then?
As long as, it's okay and Raylan is not going to lose her assistance, I will agree with that.
All right, well, I have the ability to deviate from the recommended amount, and that wouldn't affect the assistance. It's still a significant amount of support, a reasonable amount of support, and the state may keep some of that to offset the cost of the Medicaid and food assistance that the child's currently receiving. The 20, well, we have to designate a certain amount for ordinary medical, so that would be the 28 per month ordinary medical that would have been added to the 646. So 50 a week, the state uses a multiplier of 4.35. That's the number of weeks in a month. So that's 217.50 would be the bottom line. If 28 of that is ordinary medical, then
What do you mean ordinary medical?
so ordinary medical is when Mr. Walburn stated the amount of recommended support, it was 646 for child support,
Right.
and 28 for ordinary medical. So about 20 years ago now, the state designated ordinary medical as the amount for two reasons. One, in cases where kids receive Medicaid, that's an amount that the state keeps that goes into the Medicaid budget.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
For kids that aren't on Medicaid, that's a prepaid amount toward uncovered medical costs.
Okay.
So out-of-pocket deductibles, things like
Co-pays and
that,
stuff.
that aren't, co-pays that aren't covered by insurance, up to a certain threshold. And that threshold, I think, is currently around $450. So
Okay.
as long as a child doesn't incur uncovered medical costs throughout the year that exceed that threshold, then the 28 per month is paid, and it's a done deal. The state does not have a mechanism for reimbursing overpayment, which I don't necessarily agree with, but they don't.
Right.
On the other hand, if kids incur medical expenses that exceed that threshold, then they're split according to a percentage that's in the order.
Okay.
Okay,
Does
that's what
that,
ordinary medical.
okay, no, because I've got her on my medical,
Okay,
and then she's got her on her medical at work,
child's still on Medicaid?
and she's still on Medicaid.
No,
That's what I was-
she's on Medicaid and she's on Eric's insurance now.
As of this month, it's still, the computer system still shows her on Medicaid.
Yes, Raylan is still on Medicaid.
Why is she not on her employer's insurance
I
also?
took her off my employer's
Well,
insurance because you added her to yours.
What was the purpose of not having dual enrollment?
Because she has the Medicaid, Eric.
But if your employer offers insurance, isn't it?
People qualify or they don't, and that's
Okay.
not my job to
Okay,
police the qualification for benefits.
I wasn't sure why you would take somebody off insurance. but-
I understand. So that would leave 189.50 for child support. And then the 28 for ordinary medical. And that would equal the 217.50. So while the child's on Medicaid, that 28 will go to the state. The 189.50 would go to mom. And,
Now that is something that we need to kind of finagle somehow. Because like I said, Eric has been paying $50 a week. And if, the state takes their portion, that literally leaves Raylan with, not a lot at the end of the month. She would be getting, $50, almost $50 less than what she's getting now. And as we all know, things have gone up considerably in price. And this money goes directly to Raylan. And $50 has helped out tremendously. But when the state is going to be taking their portion and Raylan is going to be losing out on, say, $50, I think that's, a little kind of a little jump down.
All right, I was only going based on the number you guys told me.
She
Right.
did agree to it.
I mean, you've got the right to come in here and demand 674 per month if you want.
I mean, I'm not demanding anything, but I think, we need to keep it, consistent with the 200 that Raylan has been getting a month.
So 217.50 support then, and 28 ordinary medical, total of 245.50. That's what you're agreeing to?
I would agree to that.
All right, so you're all right with that then?
With how much coming out?
It'd be $245.50 a month, so if you, how much coming out, what do you mean, divided by?
Divided by what, the 4 point?
No, that would be the 50 a week, but then the ordinary medical will be on top of that. The amount the state takes will be on top of the 50.
Crap, that's more than what I pay for my son now.
Well, the recommendations for 674, so
I understand that. There's no way I could physically pay that. I don't make that a month. Can we swing that?
if you, if the child ends up being taken off Medicaid and you guys wanted to modify that, problem.
Means $50.
How-
and then-
How do we get her off the Medicaid so we can modify that then?
Well, like I said, I can't make anybody do anything, but if in the future she ended up being taken off Medicaid,
Right. I
then
mean, is there a reason to take her off Medicaid other than a parent wanting it, or is there like qualifications for that?
well, there's qualification. You have to fill out an application, disclose household income and things like that. If she
It says
still qualifies,
275.
270,
245.50.
245.
So it's 61.25 a week.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, I'll go with that amount, due to the parties' agreement. I'll deviate from the recommended amount of $674 a month for the reasons that the parties have established. This amount of support is a reasonable amount between themselves. It will need to be paid through front of the court now, but other than that, it appears to be a reasonable amount and would be effective May 1st, since April's payment will be made prior to this.
April has not been paid yet. They do $50 a week.
They said it'd be paid in a couple days.
Right, on Friday. So do they continue to pay through Cash App until this order goes into effect, or how do we do that?
Oh, is it paid?
Weekly.
Pay
Just
weekly,
weekly?
yeah, cash out.
Can you stop it before the first payment is made for April?
Yeah, I can stop it.
send it
We- yeah,
whenever,
she-
I send
my
it
wife
every
sends it.
Friday.
Oh, all right. I'll make it effective April 1st, then go ahead and stop that,
Okay,
and then it'll be paid.
We sent this last Fridays already. So
Yeah.
this next Friday would be what I pay next. to her. I've already made the
So
first.
nothing's been paid for April. And you can keep anything from being paid for April.
Yeah, because I've
Okay.
already paid, I paid March 31st was the last Friday.
All right, we'll make it
Yeah.
effective April 1st then, so it'll start coming out of your paycheck. The front of the court will send an income total.
correct.
There's $150 filing fee, $59 birth record fee. Is there another one, Mr.
Genetic
Walker?
testing,
So
81.
there's a genetic testing fee, the birth record fee, and the filing fee is $290. I can give you 6 months to pay that. Is that-
That's fine.
Okay, all right. Mr. Walker, anything I missed?
No, you got 244.50, that's 217.50 support, $28 ordinary medical, 245.50, April 1, 2023. All right, got it.
And that'll be taken weekly out of this check, the 61.50 or whatever. it
It's
was.
paid weekly, it'll be taken out weekly, it's paid bi-weekly, they'll take half each time, so.
Yeah.
Same thing
That's
as, yeah, same thing as they do for Dawson.
All right, is there anything else?
As far as the visitations and everything, are we were in agreement for a halfway point for pickup and drop off?
Pam, what's that?
I was wondering if we could address that issue while we're here.
If you both want to, that's fine.
Or if
It's
you
not
have-
really set for that today, but so if either of you did not want to, I would not be able to, but if you wanted.
No, I
If
do.
you had an agreement,
Yes.
to put on the record, then that can be put in an order as well.
Yeah, it's part of the agreement she agreed to, was halfway.
Okay, so usually that would include a determination of custody and parenting time then?
That is correct.
So we have physical custody, which is a recognition of where kids live the majority of the time. Who would have physical custody?
That would be me.
Kayla does.
Okay, so non-physical. Legal custody is a determination that one or both parties has the right to make all important decisions regarding kids. Usually that comes
That
down
would-
to medical care decisions, educational decisions, things like that. Are you agreeing to an order for joint legal custody, or is mom going to have sole legal custody, or how's that gonna work?
I would like joint.
And I would like sole physical custody.
Okay, so we don't have an agreement on that. That's not something that's set for hearing today, so I
Okay.
can't really address that today.
Okay. What about the meeting?
The parenting, what's the parenting time arrangement? You have a full schedule?
Here-
We don't have a schedule. It's just
Now,
because
Raylan,
everything's been up and down. with transition between houses.
Yeah,
We've been slowly introducing, this Friday or this weekend, we were gonna pick her up, Saturday morning, drop her off Sunday afternoon for Easter at my house, but, we just want to make sure she's gonna meet halfway, for pickup and drop off. That's the only thing I'm concerned about.
Like I discussed
It's
with,
an hour one way.
yeah, but like I discussed with Eric, I cannot meet him. My car has a small gas leak and I am not willing to take a chance to be driving a long distance. So, and I was more than willing to let him take Raylan, but he has to transport her this weekend.
All right, I don't hear an agreement between the two of you on this stuff, so someone's gonna have to file a motion regarding custody.
Okay.
All right, so I'm not gonna address that at all. Legal custody is in dispute, the parenting time, semantics of that appear to be in dispute. Either one of you can file a motion regarding custody and parenting time that will be set for hearing, but it's not something that is simply, please take our agreement, put it on paper for us.
No, I understand.
There are issues, so, all right? Okay, so we're all set for today.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Yes.
All right. I can't see you. Are you?
Yes.
Matthew Abel? Are you Mr. Abel?
Yes.
All right. We'll take up file 2023-58815. Brittany Aronson and Matthew Avro, both are here on Zoom. And this is the date and time set for proceedings regarding support. I have Mr. Walburn here from the prosecutor's office. Mr. Walburn, do you have an update or recommendation on the matter?
The defendant was served March 1, 2023. We ran the guidelines. The plaintiff was imputed at minimum wage. We had the defendant's actual wages. Plaintiff had one other child. Defendant had one other child. There were 0 overnights. We put in the child support formula. It comes out to $415 support, $22 ordinary medical for a total of $437. My caseworker indicated there was something that the father signed the affidavit of parentage, but he's not convinced he's the bio dad, and hence we're in front of the court.
All right. I'll swear you both in. Both raise your right hands. Do you both swear or affirm any testimony you give in this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. And ma'am, you named Matthew Avro as the father of Laura.
Yes, sir, I did.
And are you reasonably sure that he's the father of that child biologically?
He is not. We did an at-home DNA test and he is not the dad. And we knew that there was a chance that he might have not been the dad when we had her.
All right. And sir, you filed an affidavit of parentage regarding that child, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, but now there are doubts, or I guess maybe you're reasonably sure that you're not the biological father, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And are the two of you wanting to take action to vacate that affidavit of parentage at this time?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Walburn, so
We don't get involved.
that's what I was gonna say.
We don't get involved at all.
Okay. So the process, what I can do is I can adjourn this to give you guys a chance to take care of that, but it's not something that the court does or that the prosecutor's office does, because it's a document that you entered into on your own. You understand that?
Yes.
All right, so probably what it would involve is a call up to vital statistics of the state, if you filed that with the state, to say we made a mistake, we submitted this document, how do we undo that? You're probably not the first that ever made that error, and there's probably some form that you can fill out and get that done, and I can give you time to do that without setting support, but at this point, that's not something that the court or the prosecutor's office takes care of on your behalf, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'll go ahead and adjourn this couple months. I have enough time to look into this?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll have this adjourned a couple months. If you take care of it, the prosecutor's office will probably just dismiss it. If that's not been rectified in those 2 months, then I don't know. We'll see where we're at anyway. Okay?
Okay.
All right, we're all set for today.
Can anybody hear me?
All right, now I got Desiree Batches and Gage Malia. Mr. Malia is here. Ms. Batches is on Zoom, and this is the date and time set to address paternity and support. And Mr. Walburn here from the prosecutor's office. Mr. Walburn, do you have an updated recommendation?
Yep, visiting to the court. Defendant was served on 12/6, 2022. This started out as a paternity case. We did do genetic testing. Defendant was found to be the father by 99.989. It's basically 99.9999999%. So we do have to address the paternity portion. We also have to address the support portion. We did our best to put the information in the support formula. We imputed the plaintiff a minimum wage. Defendant, we had his actual wages. Plaintiff has one additional child. The information we have is the defendant has 0 additional children. We put it in the support formula. It comes out to $474 support, $23 ordinary medical, for total $497. There is no birth expense fee on this. There's no agreement on support, so that's why we're in front of the referee.
All right, both raise your right hands. You both swear or affirm any testimony you give in this cause to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, and ma'am, you named Gage Malia to be the father of the child in this matter. And that's CL's, correct?
Silas.
Silas? Oh, I got that. Is that SILAS?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Anyway, you named Mr. Malia as the biological father of that child, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, and it turned out that there was a DNA test and it's conclusive pursuant to that test that he is in fact the father of that child, is that correct?
Yes.
All right, and are you in agreement with order determining him to be the legal father of the child being entered by the court?
Yes, he is the legal father.
Okay, and sir, do you agree that based on that test, you are in fact the biological father of the child?
Yeah.
All right, and do you agree with an order being entered by the court determining you to be the legal father?
Yep.
All right, Mr. Wellman, then the order of affiliation would be approved.
Got it.
And then the support aspect of this, the recommendation is for $497 a month. Sir, do you agree to that amount?
When we had our last meeting about paternity, you told me to come back because I'm doing all the driving and that you'd compensate me for doing all the driving.
Okay, what was that?
I don't remember when our last court case was.
So between the two of you?
That was between me, her, and you.
Oh, I see. Somebody filed a parenting time motion?
Yes,
Okay. Are you still doing all the driving?
yes, but instead of going to her aunt's, I'm now driving all the way to Grand Rapids, which is 50 miles down, 50 miles back, twice a day.
Twice a day?
Because I pick up and drop off. I go down there to pick him up. I have to go home, and then I have to take him back and then come back home. It's 200 miles all the way around.
Not every day of the week.
No, not every day of the week, just
Days you pick up.
Wednesday and Sunday as of right now.
Oh, okay. All right, and ma'am, are you able to do any of the transportation at this time or not?
No, I'm not.
Do you not have a car or no license or what?
I don't have a car of my own and I do not have my license, and my other half does not have his car legal right at the moment.
You have no transportation at all?
No.
You see the
All
job
I
on
have to
Wednesdays and
my is the
Sundays?
city buses, and I can't meet him anywhere with the city bus.
So, sir, you're making a trip from where to where?
I'm now living in Big Rapids. I moved back to my sister's while I'm waiting for my apartment to be ready. So I'm driving from Big Rapids to Alpine.
All right, so that mom lives down in Grand Rapids?
Yeah,
Ma'am, you live in
Yes,
Grand
I live
Rapids now somewhere?
Yes,
that?
yes, I live in Grand Rapids. I moved out of my aunt's. It was not a safe environment for either one of my children.
So on Wednesdays, you're driving all the way down there
Yep, it's an hour both ways as well.
and hanging out down there for a couple hours.
I'm not even hanging out down there. I have nowhere to go with him.
So what do you do on Wednesdays?
I go back home. I drive back to Big Rapids.
Turn around
I,
hours later and drive all the way back down there?
that's what I have to do. I have nowhere else to go with him, really.
There are things to do in Grand Rapids, all kinds of stuff.
I mean, he's only 7 months old. Where am I gonna take him on low funds though, to go do something? I'm spending $60 Wednesday and $60 Sunday to just get there.
So basically almost an extra tank of gas
Yeah,
twice a month.
the $60 gets me down there and back. So it's an extra tank each day that I take him.
All right, so support bills monthly, so I'll deviate by $200 a month at this time. $274 a month support, 23 ordinary medical will be $297 a month. For all that, to make up for all that travel. If that situation changes, though, you guys have to come back, so support can be recalculated.
Okay.
So.
So why is
ma'am,
the
if-
child support being deducted from my son because he's doing all the driving?
Because he's incurring costs that he should not, if you were able to provide half the transportation, which you ought to be doing, then he would not incur as much of a cost for the transportation as he is, because he has a parenting time order and you're not able to do any of the transportation at this time. You should be splitting it equally. You understand?
Yes.
All right, so I'm deviating for that reason. Let's see, make it effective February 2/1 of 23, 274 support, 23 ordinary medical. There's no birth expense. There is, however, a filing fee of $150, birth record fee of $59. What's the DNA fee? 81. Total of $290 in fees. So I can give you 6 months to pay those. Is that enough time?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Is there anything further for today?
I don't have anything else.
Okay, we should be all set.
Can I pay them online or do I have to come here and pay them?
No, you can't come here and pay. You gotta either have it withheld from your pay through your employer if you're a payroll employee. Otherwise, if that's not possible, if you're not employed or you don't have
I do have employment.
1099 though, or are you a payroll?
I'm payroll.
All right, they'll send it over to your employer.
They will?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
All right, yep, you're all set. Two, Olivia Clark, you're all set. Hoy, Mr. Hoy is here. Ms. Clark is not. Matter was set for proceedings regarding support. Mr. Walburn's here from the prosecutor's office. Mr. Walburn, do you have an update?
Here's what I can tell the court. Defendant was served 1/27/2023. I think the parties were in front of the court previously, like in a parenting time motion. So most of the information we took from that, from the court's order, to our knowledge, plaintiff was not working. We imputed her at minimum wage. We had the defendant's actual wages. Neither party had any other children. We got 157 overnights, and that's from the previous hearing for the defendant. There are some birth expense fees. There's one for each child. For one child, it's $5,662.93. The other child is $5,591.91. The father's portion is $3,398 and then $3,355 based on the formula. Anyways, we threw it all into the formula, and for two children, it comes up to $381 support, $45 ordinary medical for a total of $426. I don't think there was an agreement on support, so we're in front of the referee.
All right, somebody just popped into the waiting room. Let me make sure it's not. Ms. Clark. Hello, who's this?
Hi, this is Olivia.
Oh, okay. All right, so it's almost 10 after. Ms. Clark has joined us now. Mr. Walburn was reporting the recommendation for support is $4.26 a month. Mr. Hoy has been here. Mr. Hoy, do you agree with the recommendation for support?
No, I do not.
All right, why is that?
Mostly on the fact that at this current time, my bills do outweigh hers. I also have another child I am helping take care of at the moment, who is currently special needs, may possibly wind up full-term special needs. Currently in a casting process to correct club feet and has an upcoming autism review. On top of, I am not currently employed. I had a falling out with my boss and they wound up letting me go.
So you lost your job?
Yes, I'd left the job that I had on court record to take another job that I was offered. And it wound up being not quite what was expected. There was a lot of hours that I was supposed to get that didn't wind up getting. A lot of the guys were scared to work in the elements. There was issues getting supplies to and from the jobs that wound up being a very big headache. And when brought to my boss's attention, we kind of had a small little argument, and in the end, I wound up being let go.
Okay, you understand that support is not always based on your actual income, but based on your potential income. And when you lose a job, you've at least established that you have the ability to make a certain amount of money.
Okay.
You know, if you're let go for reasons beyond your control, like the company shut down or you had to be laid off or something like that, that's a little bit different than quitting a job or you know, losing a job for cause. There are some circumstances with like over the road truckers and things like that where I have some sympathy because they're away 90% of the time and can't really help raise a family. But it doesn't sound like that's the case here. So the amount of support appears to be appropriate. Are you actively looking for work then right now?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Walburn said you don't have any other children, but you've mentioned another child that has some medical problems. Whose child is that?
It is my girlfriend's.
All right. So you're not legally responsible for that child. I mean, you may have some moral responsibility if you feel that you do to help care for that child. But as far as a legal responsibility, that child should not impact your ability to help support the child that is yours. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. And
Mother,
looks like what?
my other question to this would be having joint custody and the only difference being 52 days a year roughly, how I would be paying so much. It would be my understanding that if we're both relatively equal responsible for the children, how I'm paying $400 a month would come to well over $4,000 a year. It just doesn't seem quite right for, I would say probably a little shy of 2 months worth of care that she has to take over what I'm taking with the kids. When they're with me, I pay everything, you know, food, what they need. Anytime she's asked me for anything for the kids, you know, be it diapers, wipes, clothing, whatever they needed. If she told me they needed it, I got it to her. It just doesn't quite seem right that I would be charged such a large amount when there's such a small difference between the time that we're both taking care of the children.
Yeah, it looks like the difference is about 51 overnights a year. It's probably the income. I guess, ma'am, you are imputed at minimum wage. Are you working right now?
Yes, I am.
Where do you work?
I work at KFC and Taco Bell in Nuevo.
How much do you make there?
About 12 an hour.
Is that full time?
Yeah.
Okay. When did you start there?
Monday.
All right. Mr. Walburn, you want to go make that change, 12 an hour full time instead of minimum wage? It's a couple dollars more an hour. That should change things a little bit. So he's gonna go do that. We'll go off the record for a minute. We'll be right back.
Alrighty.
All right.
All right, we'll go back on the record. Mr. Walburn, do you have a chance to update the
It
recommendation?
did, it changes it to 325 support, 43 ordinary medical, total 368.
All right, so sort of dropped it about $60 or so. That's based on mom's actual income, the income that you established as your income prior to losing the job. I guess you agree with the recommendation then that's been modified?
Not entirely, but it doesn't really sound like I have a choice.
All right. Ma'am, did you have any thoughts on the recommendation for support?
I don't believe so, no.
All right. What I'll do is I'll adopt that recommendation effective March 1st. I will suspend enforcement of that for 90 days. That'll give you time to find work, sir. So the friend of the court won't be breathing down your neck for the next 90 days. That'll give you a chance to find a job and start making payments. All right.
All right.
All right. If you get a job, you need to report that as soon as possible to the court, and they'll start collecting payments at that point. But they won't file a show cause or anything like that if you're not able to make payments for that amount of time.
Okay.
The birth expense is recommended at the amount stated by the prosecutor. I'll add that on an additional $50 per month for the birth expense. There is a filing fee of $150, so I can give you 6 months to pay that. Is that enough time?
Yes.
Okay. I think I've addressed everything that was up for today. Mr. Walber, anything else?
Nope.
All right, folks, you should be all set. You'll get an order in the mail. All right?
Okay.
All right.
All right, yep.